Okay. Hey y'all, it's Monday. I'm back with another week in sales. I've been finding some really good stuff at thrift stores lately, and I know just based on the comments that y'all leave on my videos, it can be frustrating and discouraging going to thrift stores sometimes because the prices can seem outrageous. But here's the thing, you just gotta keep going back. You gotta be consistent. You gotta go regularly. If you go one day and there's outrageous prices, don't get discouraged. Go back the next day, because my thrift stores are no different than yours. Every time I go to the thrift store, they have crazy prices on all sorts of things, and it doesn't even matter. I look at those crazy prices, I laugh, and then I move on and I find all sorts of stuff that they just miss on the prices. And that's the thing, they're never going to get everything. And so don't get discouraged. Stay positive out there. Thrift stores are not dead. Check out some of the stuff that I found recently. Look at this. Look at this Texas Instruments TI84 Plus I found for $7 at a thrift store. I actually found two of them. Check that out. They were right next to each other. So clearly they just didn't know what this was. Although I've noticed these TI84 Pluses aren't selling as quickly and for as much money as they used to, even about a year ago. And so I've actually had this one listed for a few days at 45 and another one at 50 and still not sold. So I need to check the sell-through rates. I always just assume they do really good, because in the past when I would buy and sell these, they would sell, for $60, $70 like the same day, like within an hour of listing it, but it's just not the case anymore. Check these out. These are really interesting. I think the person at the estate sale who passed away was like an advertising executive, because they had just like hundreds of these cans of golf balls. These were like Murphy's Irish Stout, like the beer is supposed to look like a beer can. Inside they're just two golf balls. It's not the size of a beer can. It's like the size of like a small V8 can, if you remember that drink. Really strange. He had all sorts of brands like this. This was the Murphy's Irish Stout. He had some other beers. There was also like Campbell's Soup, and inside obviously there's not soup or beer, there's just golf balls. And I bought these, like, I didn't really know the sell-through rate was, all over the place. Like, I couldn't actually find any comps for this one specifically. I should have bought way more of them, because since listing it, within a day, I've already sold 2 out of the 8 that I bought. So pretty interesting. Never seen anything like this. It's a weird one. I also at an estate sale found this Panasonic mini DV camcorder. These things are really good because, again, they don't make them anymore, and so people have old mini DVs that maybe their camera has broke, but they want to be able to transfer the footage from their old mini DVs to digital, and they need a camera to do that. These sell on the secondary market really well. This one I bought for $5. I did have to buy a battery, didn't have the battery as well as a charger, so I spent an additional $14 on those for a total cost of goods for right around $20. But I've got it listed for $80 plus shipping, and so I think this one will sell pretty decently. It was kind of funny though. When testing this, I actually found somebody's homemade video, if you know what I mean. It was a weird thing to find in there. I've never found anything like that before. The closest thing that I found was in a VCR that I bought. Somebody had a Girls Gone Wild Spring Break edition. So, but I've never found a homemade video like that. But kind of funny. This was another interesting pickup that I had in an estate sale. This is a Dollhouse Kit by Greenleaf. Greenleaf's a great brand to look out for these Dollhouse kits. They can go for a lot of money. This one we paid $15 for, I think. Yeah, $15. We have it listed for $84.99 plus shipping. My wife priced this one a little bit high because she wants to keep it, and so she's going to give it a couple months at this price. If it sells, oh well. If it doesn't, I think she's going to pull it off and put it together herself. So that'll be fun. We'll see if it goes. Before I jump into the top 10 sales, I've got some other things going on this week that I thought I'd talk about, some interesting things. One is I have a return that I wanted to talk about. So I have a return on this HP inkjet printer ink. And so printer ink does really well. This was a printer ink that had expired. And if you note the expiration on there, some people will still buy it, and that's fine. But somebody opened it up and said, hey, it turns out it doesn't fit my printer. This was only a sale for $18.99. But I want to let you know about a little thing that you can do as a seller on eBay. If someone buys something from you, say in new condition, so this ink was in new condition, and then returns it and the condition is not new, you can give a partial refund back to that. So eBay allows you to do that. So in this case, this person opened up the return. I said, hey, you're welcome to return this. I have free returns, but just so you know, if I get it back and it's not in new condition, they didn't respond. I don't know if they read my message or not, but that's what's going to happen. And it's a policy that eBay has to protect sellers. I recommend that you take advantage of that as a seller. I certainly take advantage of it as a seller. Buyers are not going to be happy, but the thing is, eBay will remove any negative feedback that you get from utilizing this policy. And so if you sell something in new condition and somebody returns it and you can't sell it in new condition again, you can give up to 50% off. So I definitely recommend that you do that. So another thing I want to talk about is the eBay messaging feature. So a long time ago, probably 6 months to a year ago on the eBay app, they changed how messaging worked. And so they turned it into much more of like conversational style. Trying to reply to messages from your phone prior to them doing that update was horrible. So they did that update on mobile. It's really great, but the web interface for messages still continued to be really bad. I just noticed last week, maybe y'all have already gotten this update, but I noticed a little link in the top right-hand corner of my messages interface that said try out our new messaging interface. And so I did, and it's much better. So you can just see here, let me find a good message. Yeah, here we go. So it's like this bubble style, conversation style, kind of like text messaging style messages within eBay itself. So it's much better than it was before. Have y'all used this? Let me know in the comments below. It's so much better. I'm really happy to have that same experience on the web as well. All right, so let's get into the top 10 sales of the week. This week I did really well. Check this out. I have almost 800% ROI, 53% net profit margin, gross income of $1,798, and a net income for the week, last 7 days, of $1,055. 31 new listings. So my listings were a little bit down. I didn't do as much sourcing last week. Usually I go sourcing every day, and I took about 2 days off, so I didn't get as much sourcing done, so not as much listing done, but sales were still up, 45 sales for the week. My average time to sell on everything that sold was 3 months. So basically this means the average age of the items that sold last week. So that means on average, everything that sold in the last 7 days has been listed for about 3 months or 90 days, which is about my lifetime average. That's about where I sit. And I spent a total of $288 on new inventory this week. But let's go ahead and jump into the top 10 sales of the week. All right, coming in at number 10 is this Auto Art Saturn Vue Diecast car. So this was a really weird one. I found this on an estate sale for, I think it was $12. Yeah, $12 back in December. It took a month to sell. This is just a bizarre car to have a diecast model of. I saw it sitting there on a desk at an estate sale, and I thought, who wants a 2002 Saturn Vue diecast car? It's just a really bizarre collectible car to have. Saturn, I guess maybe is slightly collectible, but they don't make them anymore. It's just really, really interesting to see it. But then I came to learn that Auto Art is a really great brand. They make really high quality diecast cars. I think they make them for dealerships. So anyway, I picked this one up, not really sure if it was going to be a good seller or not. I think the sell-through rate was okay, but it sold in a month for $61.29. That's $49.99 plus $11.30 in shipping. My net return was $33.87. That's a 282% ROI for the 10th best flip of the week, the Saturn Vue. So there you go. It's also in that weird, gross orange color. Coming in at number 9 is this Cedar Plank. This is something that I think you cook on. So if you're cooking like fish, if you're cooking some salmon, you might cook it on a cedar plank. I got this at a Goodwill on January 1st, and after 25 days, it sold for $56.98. My net was $34.36. I paid $7.50 for it, and it had a 458% ROI for the 9th best flip of the week. And so saw this at Goodwill. This was actually on the cart, ready to be put onto the shelves. I grabbed it before it had a chance to go out there. It was brand new in the packaging. Thought it was a pretty good bet at $7.50. And yeah, 25 days later, it came in at number 9 for $34.36. Coming in at number 8 is this Pampered Chef stoneware dish. So Pampered Chef's a really great brand to look out for. Not everything that they make is good, but a lot of the stuff that they make is really good. And I almost always pick up these stoneware pieces when I find them. I got this one at Savers for $7. It took 8 months to sell, so it wasn't the quickest sale, but it did sell for $59.98. I ended up getting a net return of $34.39, just shy of 500% ROI for the 8th best flip of the week. Coming in at number 7 is this Patagonia Shirt. So I bought 2 of these. This is the second one that I sold. I spent a total of $64, $32 on each. Both of them sold within 29 days. And so, Patagonia is a great brand. These were new with tags. I got them at a sporting goods store that was going out of business. The net return on this sale was $37 even, 116% ROI, but the total net return for both of them ended up being $65.91. Coming in at number 6 is this old coin. So this is a coin from 350 to 400 AD. It was super cool to have something that's just that old. It's sort of crazy. I know nothing about coins or nothing about anything like this in any way. A friend gave it to me, so I have $0 into it, but it took 4 months to sell for $56.99. My net on it was $41.83. You'll notice I ended up refunding the buyer $4.84 because of some weird tax thing. It was a very bizarre situation. The person that bought it had an issue with their address, and they kept editing the address on the eBay side, and they finally got it to take and work in their address in there correctly, but suddenly it added $4.84 in tax to the item, which I guess because of the state that they're in, I don't know, but they reached out. They were like, hey, do you know why this tax is there? And instead of troubleshooting, I was just like, well, whatever, I'll go ahead and refund you that $4.84. I just want to get it out the door. Again, I had no money into this one, so I thought might as well. Coming in at number 5 are these rollerblades. I got these at the Goodwill bins, and so these were in excellent condition. Typically things like this at the Goodwill bins are just completely trashed, but this one was in really good shape. I actually found one of the rollerblades, put it in my cart, and then like an hour later found the other one. So I got lucky on it. I got about $5 into this because they charge by the pound. So it looks like somebody had bought it before and canceled it, and I relisted it. Yeah, so it took 2 months to sell. Net return on it was $48.64, ROI of 973% for the 5th best flip of the week. Coming in at number 4 is this brand new Arlo base station. So Arlo is a security camera company. I got this at a St. Vincent de Paul for $2.25, if you can believe that. And coming up as my number 1 flip is something related to this. This is just crazy that I found this thing at a thrift store, not only at a thrift store, but priced so low. So I paid $4.50 for this and for the number 1 flip of the week. So I'll get to that in a second. You'll notice though, return open. So this is one where, I sold it for $76.98. It only took 2 hours to sell, shipped it out, and then got a message saying they couldn't get it working. And this is a situation where brand new. My guess is that it works completely fine. I have no way to test it because I don't have any cameras to hook it up to. I don't have any way to test it, but I did plug it in and make sure that it powered on. So it's a situation where my guess is this person is just having trouble setting it up for whatever reason, and they couldn't get it to work. But I'm not sure, should I resell this? That's what I don't know. Should I risk putting it back out there and reselling it, or should I sell it for parts? I'm really not sure what to do on this. I'm going to wait till I get it back, and I'm going to plug it in again and just make sure it looks okay. But again, without being able to test, it just seems risky to resell it again, but we'll see. I might try that. Let me know what you would do in the comments. But that was the 4th best flip of the week if it didn't get returned. So I'm losing out $76.98 on that, and we'll see what happens when it comes back. All right, coming in at number 3, if y'all watched last week's video, I talked about this because I purchased it last week, but it had not yet sold. It only took 4 days to sell. This is a glass coffee maker, and I've sold this exact model a couple times at an estate sale for $6, which is an excellent price. $84.98 in 4 days. $54.59 was the net return on that. That's a 910% ROI. These things are a pain to ship though. So fortunately my wife does the shipping. She's super careful. She knows how to ship these things really well to keep them from getting broken, but there's really delicate glass in this, especially that stem. That stem is really delicate. But yeah, this was the 4th best flip of the week. Really great find. Pyrex is just a great brand to look out for. And this is a really desirable piece from Pyrex and has a really great sell-through. So if you see it, definitely pick it up. Even if it's not complete, I have some extra parts from this because it was included in the lot that I bought. And those extra parts, went for a lot too if you saw last week's video. Coming in at number 2 are these quick set door levers. And these were at an estate sale. There was 5 of them. I paid $20 total, so $4 each. And somebody within 7 days bought all 5 of them at the same time. So I'm guessing they were doing a remodel, got them a pretty good deal. My net return was $57.15 for the 2nd best flip of the week. And so this type of thing is just a no-brainer in my mind. And when it's so cheap, like $4 each, they were selling for about $20, $25 each. And I just put them up at a good price at a lot. Somebody swooped in, bought all 5 of them. They're likely going to use them all for a remodel. So great thing to look out for an estate sale. 2nd best flip of the week. That was a good one. And coming in at number 1, again, this is just a crazy find to get at a thrift store. This is one of the reasons I'm saying it's just thrift stores are not dead, because I find stuff like this pretty regularly, even at the thrift stores that overprice for their stuff. There's a rotating cast of people coming in and out of thrift stores who are responsible for pricing items. They're not going to know everything. I'm going to catch them on stuff, and this was a great one to catch them on. They only had this priced, if you can believe this, $225. So it also had the base station that I showed earlier. I ended up splitting these into 2 separate sales. They were brand new. They had never been used. $4.50 for 2 cameras like this, with the batteries, with the mounts, and the base station as well. Both of those together sold within 2 hours. You can see this one sold within 1 hour for $199.99. That's a net return of $168.30 for the top flip of the week. Look at that ROI, 7,480%. Just crazy. If you add in the base station, that's another $76. Just one stop at this thrift store made over $200. Now, again, that one did get returned, so we'll wait and see what happens there. But just goes to show you that thrift stores cannot price everything. They're going to miss stuff. And even if you have a thrift store that you go to and regularly get frustrated, keep going back. You're going to find stuff, I promise you. Expand your knowledge. Figure out other categories that maybe your thrift stores aren't as knowledgeable on. You can beat them at their own game. In fact, I have an entire video about doing just that, so check that out if that's interesting to you. But don't get discouraged, I can totally get why it's discouraging though. to get there and find a really awesome thing, and then they price it, for retail value or sometimes even higher than retail value. All of my thrift stores are the exact same, and yet I still find stuff like this. So don't give up, don't get discouraged, keep going out there, keep finding good stuff. All right, that's it. Just to recap here again, $1,798 in gross sales this week and just over 1,000 net. So pretty good week. If you like these videos, I do them every week, every Monday. Right here to the left of my head and right of my head are the last 2 weeks of my What Sold videos. I'll do them every week. I'll be back next Monday and you'll see what else I picked up and what else I sold. So we'll see you then. Thanks.